We are here, of course, with the President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, sir, how are you feeling today?
Well, I'm taking a little bit of time out because I'm supposed to be campaigning shortly. We have a strong rally in Georgia tonight. So, I've got my usual energy, strong energy, and we're fighting. We're fighting because the country is being lost. It's being lost, tech stuff guy.
Well, yes, there are the big runoff in Georgia. I think it's Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue who you are rallying for tonight.
Uh, you know, I'm really rallying for myself. Yes, we want them to win. Oh, yes, go Republican senators. It's about me and the fact that they robbed me of my strong election. They stole Georgia and many other states from me. You know this.
Well, I was going to get to the call with Georgia. Oh, but Happy New Year, Mr. President. I didn't wish you a Happy New Year. Just wanted to wish you a Happy New Year.
I will see if it's Happy New Year. What's your name?
J Nog.
Okay, Bill.
We've met, yes.
Happy New Year to you, Bill. Um, we actually had a strong tech stuff guy to end the year. It's too bad he couldn't return it. Probably a secret lib. Didn't want to be with a strong podcast. But no, we're doing a very happy New Year. We're having probably a happier New Year than you. And, we're going to fight. It's the year of the fight. That's what we're calling it.
The year of the fight. Now, Mr. President, I wanted to ask you about your phone call with Secretary of State from Georgia, Brad Raffensperger. Is that how you pronounce it?
Ben Roethlisberger. That's who we were talking to.
Ben Roethlisberger plays quarterback for the Steelers.
Which is why he shouldn't be the Secretary of State of a state. It's like you've got enough of a job, sir. And I call him sir sarcastically. I don't mean it.
Do you really think you're talking to Ben Roethlisberger of the Steelers, the quarterback? They're
well. Ever since I didn't have powerful sex with Stormy Daniels, he wanted to have sex with her. He was very interested in Stormy Daniels, and I know, even though we're friends, I think he was very jealous of me, even though I didn't have any relations with her whatsoever. He was very jealous, and I think that's kind of made him want to help steal the election. And like I said, being a quarterback is a very strong job. It's a tough job and it's very busy. To then be a Secretary of State in a totally different state is sort of insanity.
It is because it's not true. These are two different people.
Oh,
These people. One is Ben Roethlisberger. One is Brad Raffensperger. They sound
okay, right. You say that like, oh, look, I'm pronouncing it differently. We know it's the same person. We know. We know very strongly it's the same person. Audiogram.
Yeah. It really does sound the same when I try to make it sound different. Can you tell me about the phone call though? Because people heard the phone call and it
People heard it. And guess what it was? A perfect phone call. Another perfect phone call for your president. And by the way, you know what we should really be talking about? What's the real crime?
tampering with the election.
Who records a phone call with a great president? That's so
A
low
big fan.
class. That's so low class and disgraceful. And we're gonna have people look into very strongly into why Ben Roethlisberger was taping a powerful presidential phone call.
I don't think the reason why Brad, I think, was taping the phone call was the exact reason what the results were because you're trying to tamper with the election, Mr. President. And what's going to happen is that I
Let me
think,
ask you a question.
yes, you're
Let's
telling him to
say,
find votes. You were saying
excuse
telling him to
me,
find
excuse
votes.
me,
Yeah.
excuse me,
Yes.
excuse me,
Hmm.
excuse me. let's say somebody burns down your house, okay?
Okay.
And then the cops show up and they do an investigation. Would you say they're tampering with your right as a homeowner, or are they trying to help you?
You were not.
Excuse me, can you answer the presidential question, please?
They're investigating. They're doing an investigation. That's
So
what
would you
police
say
officers
that
do.
they are, would you say, get off my property, you're tampering with my freedom?
I could.
Is that what you would say?
No, because I
Thank
wouldn't say
you.
that.
No, excuse me, now I'm talking. I am trying, it's called helping, okay? We live in a country where you have to vote, and legal votes have to count, and fake, nasty Democratic votes have to not count. And that's all I'm trying to do.
Do you think you came off strong on the phone call and powerful and great?
Can I tell you how I came off on the call?
Yes.
Very strongly.
Of course you did. No.
Because it was a perfect phone. It's called a perfect phone call. You think they would have learned from Ukraine. I don't make many phone calls that aren't perfect phone calls, and this one was very strongly perfect.
Now, I have to ask you because last week we learned about what a very strongly letter looks like. What would a very strongly phone call look like compared to a strongly phone call?
Well, you know how you make a phone call? You make phone calls, right?
I do.
It's
What would
called
that be?
that's a weak phone call.
Okay.
When I make a regular phone call, it's automatically strong because I'm on the phone. A strong
Gotcha.
phone call for me is a just what people who are normal would call a phone call. I do them strongly.
Okay.
When I'm having a very strong phone call, what that means is I put it on speakerphone and I walk around the office very powerfully. And when I'm done with the phone call, I punch the phone and it breaks. And then they have to order a new phone call. So this was a very strong phone call.
How many very strong phone calls would you say you make in a week?
Or
So you break 4 phones a week?
8. So I will correct that and say, I'm being modest. It's called being modest. I didn't want to brag about how many very strong phone calls I have, but let me tell you something. 8, which is almost as many days in a week.
It's more
It's
days in
more
a
what?
week. More days.
Oh,
That 8 is more. There's 7 days in a week.
well, remember the show 8 is not enough?
Yes.
Okay, then.
Okay. Did you enjoy that show?
Which show?
8 is never enough. Eight
I
is
don't
not
know.
enough.
I don't know
Eight
that
is not
show.
enough. Is that what it's called? 8 is not enough.
I don't know. I was more of a Baywatch fan.
Okay. Who was your favorite lifeguard on Baywatch?
Mike, David Hasselhoff. Okay. Mike, our great vice president, is a big Hasselhoff fan.
Uh,
For me, I think, well, no, it would be Erica Eleniak. And I say that because she came out of that cake in Under Siege with the great Steven Seagal very powerfully with very big breasts.
that was a great scene.
I think
Under
it's one of the
Siege.
great scenes in movie history.
All of the movies.
In all of movies, when she comes out, she's like drunk in the cake and she
Mm-hmm.
busts out of the cake and is, uh, is they don't make movies like that anymore, do they? They certainly don't.
Have you ever met her?
Oh,
I don't know the actress's name, but the one from Baywatch you're talking about who jumped out of the cake in Under Siege.
who did that?
Have you ever met her? You're a very powerful man. I was wondering if you met her.
Oh,
You.
well, I know I'm me, but what did I do
Have you
other
ever
than be
met that
great?
actress? Have you ever met that actress? Have you ever spent time with her? Or you've
I've
met a
spent
lot of
time with a
people?
lot. Excuse me. I've spent time with a lot of actresses.
Her. Have
More
you?
than you. More than you.
All right. Mr. President, you are on a Dolly pardoning spree, as you said it last time.
I never
And
said that.
no, you did. You use Dolly Pardon. You did use her name in it, and then we
Agree to
used
disagree.
Donald Trump Pardon.
You're fake news.
Okay. Well, does the name Stephanie Moore ring a bell?
It might.
Police officer. You
We,
pardoned
we love
you.
our law enforcement.
Well, this person that you pardoned, she um, was involved in a lot of police brutality cases,
Stephanie
and
Moore.
yes, I say police brutality, and it does ring a bell. Um, she was involved in many cases. I think she went on Newsmax and basically shouted you out and just begged for a pardon.
Oh,
Um,
I can tell you, she begged.
I don't know what she looks like, but I do know that.
Well, I know what she looks like when she's begging, and it's quite attractive.
Well, why did you pardon her,
Who?
Stephanie Moore? Why did you pardon Stephanie Moore? Do you know the
I pardon Stephanie Moore.
Yeah, do you know the
Oh,
horrible
okay.
thing?
Well, she's her and her sister came and they were very convincing in terms of making their case for why she should be strongly pardoned. Okay. You don't want to know when I very strongly pardoned someone, but it was a strong pardon for sure. And we're very proud of it because we love our law enforcement. Sleepy Joe Biden is going to destroy the police. He's going to make police illegal. You know this. He's going to make police illegal. Okay. And we're not
He's
going to let him do that.
I just want to tell you, Stephanie Moore, she was known in the community, the police officers. She had an attack dog, and she would use her attack dog on minorities. She's known for
Well, what else was she going to do with her attack dog?
she was known for there were some illegal immigrants, and they were just trying to get food and safety, and
Mm.
everything was taken care of and everything was done, and she just seeked her dog on it
Mm.
because it was a new dog, and she wanted the dog to get a taste of blood, and she said, oh, the dog only gave the person 10 stitches. And then she was
Ah.
known one time,
Mm.
she there was a minority hiding in a dumpster,
Mm.
and she threw her attack dog in the dumpster.
Mm.
Mr. President, what are you doing?
Uh,
What are you-
ah, ah, oh, I just had a powerful moment, a very powerful moment, to be honest. So, what were you saying? Something about
I was talking about Stephanie Moore and how she would use her attack dog to attack minorities, and it seemed like you were enjoying it.
Normally, I can't go this quickly again, but keep talking about what the dumpster. That she threw the dog in the dumpster to get the minority.
Yes.
Mm,
What are you doing, Mr. President?
what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm actually doing nothing right now. I'm doing a strong podcast. What are you doing?
You were making sounds that I've never heard on this podcast before.
Well, I'm a strong podcaster. You should maybe if you join the podcast more frequently, you'd hear these strong noises.
I don't think those are noises that you usually make on a podcast. They seemed
Well, normally I don't.
sexual.
Normally I don't hear hardcore pornography read back to me, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Was was that like a Penthouse forum article that I was reading just now?
That was power. I mean, Stephanie Moore. I will not forget that name.
Uh, uh, Mr. President, I wanted to.
I mean, seriously, you got to
Yeah.
think MAGA. Think of MAGA. Is there anything a nice young cop with a beautiful cop woman with a gun being very tough with immigrants and minorities? That's practically triple X material to MAGA.
I I'm surprised you haven't invited her to the White House yet. Maybe
How do
for
you
some
think she
sort of
got her?
reward.
How do you think her and her sister earned a pardon?
A secret trip to the White House.
There you go.
I understand. Mr. President,
Yes.
I wanted to talk to you about our powerful sponsor this week, and that is betonline.ag. We're going to talk about your sports in a second, Mr. President, because you were able to actually predicted um, the National Football Championship, College Football Championship. But there's more football coming. We have the bowl season is in full effect, and there is one big bowl game left, and that is a national championship. NFL regular season has finished. We have the playoffs coming up this week, and there's only one place that has you covered and one place we trust, and that is betonline.ag. Sign up today for a free account at betonline.ag and use the promo code. Okay, it's CLNS50 and you get a 50% welcome bonus. So whatever you put into the account, 50% of that, they hook you back up. Okay. Now, Mr. President, you predicted the national championship for this year. You predicted the two winners. You predicted Ohio State versus Clemson. Congratulations.
And I remember before we fired him for disagreeing with me, the text stuff guy last week was like, "Oh, sir, I think it's going to be Clemson," and I said, "Oh, do you?" And then all of a sudden, guess what? It wasn't.
Mr. President, you were right, and we're going to get into that a little later. But you predicted the games. I hope you bet on them on betonline.ag because you would have won a lot of money with that parlay. So everyone,
Not only did I
don't.
bet, excuse me,
Yes,
not you're asking. Yes, I did, and I used my powerful 50. You said the 50%
50%
bonus.
welcome bonus.
So now they can welcome me with even more bonus because I'm winning.
Well, congratulations. Guys, don't sit on the sidelines anymore. Get in on the action. Don't forget to use that promo code. It's CLNS50 to receive a 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. Follow them at BetOnline underscore AG. And remember to use the bonus code. Sign up for a free account. Use the bonus code. It's CLNS50. CLNS50, and that's betonline.ag. Now, Mr. President, you did pick the college national championship, and I was very impressed with that because I didn't think I didn't think Ohio State had a chance versus Clemson, and then they shocked the world. How did you know that Ohio State was more powerful than Clemson, having
Well,
Trevor Lawrence the number one pick?
as I said, excuse you.
Excuse me.
As I said very strongly on last week's podcast, I trusted Alabama because it's the number one Trump state. But I also trusted Ohio because Ohio, of the swing states, okay, they're called swing states.
Right.
They were the most dominant in terms of surprising people. Florida wasn't in the championship. They were also kind of a swing state that impressed people with how strongly they went for Trump. But Ohio State, of the available teams, all the experts who are not so great at experting, they realized that Ohio was strong Trump country. Sleepy Joe was supposed to beat me there, and he got his ass handed to him. So I said, these are tough, great people. And, South Carolina has some positives, and it's certainly a Trump state, but Ohio State had been through a battle. They had defeated Sleepy Joe, so I knew they could beat Clemson, and they did very strongly.
I was very impressed with that pick because I didn't think they had a prayer. So Alabama, I knew they were going to run through. Now, going into this championship, who are you picking? Is it going to be Alabama or is it going to be the upset with Ohio State? This is a tough pick for you.
I have thought very strongly about this, and of course, I don't want to offend either of my great states, my greatest battleground state and my greatest non-battleground state. But I'm going to pick a very powerful upset. I am picking, and remember, strong listeners will go to betonline.ag with that code. Who is it?
CLNS50.
Use that code, listen to your president, and make a strong bet on Ohio State, and I'll tell you why. Nick Saban is a talented coach, okay? I don't think anybody in the country has been better at using black people for free labor than Nick Saban, so I respect that. But he got COVID. He got COVID.
You did too.
Excuse me. I'm not coach. Am I coaching? I would do a great job coaching, but am I coaching?
No.
Thank you. Now, please be quiet. Don't
Okay.
be rude. The Ohio State coach, Nick Saban, he used to be not Nick Saban,
Urban Meyer.
Urban meaning black. Okay, so I think he's sort of a tough. You got to understand that's sort of tough. I think Urban Meyer has been sick. He's been sick in his life, but he didn't get COVID. Okay, so I look at that and I say, here's one guy from a battleground state who's gotten sick in the past, had health problems, but he didn't get COVID, so he's tough. Whereas Saban, I think, has had it too easy. He's dominated for too long. He got COVID, so I think he's got a weak spot. So based on strong COVID analysis, just like my battleground state analysis led us here, based on COVID coaching, Urban Meyer and the Ohio State black guys will defeat the Alabama sharecropping crew under Nick Saban.
So you're calling a money line here. You don't even want the points. It's 7.5 points, Mr. President. So should people take the points in Ohio State,
Can
or are
they
you saying money
do
line?
what's known as a parlay?
Yes, but you can't. What's the parlay you had in mind?
You can't do like the boat. You can't bet the money line and the spread on the same team.
I think you can only bet the over under for that, and you can bet either the money line or the spread. I don't think you can bet.
You know what? There's more money in the picking the winner, right?
If you pick the underdog with no points, there is better odds. Yes,
That's what I want.
Okay. So
You
people,
heard it here
first. Yep.
Excuse me. You heard it here first from the greatest and last president in American history. Ohio State black guys will win.
All right. Mr. President, the last piece of news I had, it's almost a conspiracy theory, and I want to go to the source, which is you.
Ohio State black guys would be a strong podcast title. Not that I'm telling any tech stuff people what to do with their business, but that's what I'm doing.
And a couple others, but that is good. Mr. President, your lawyer, Lynn Wood, is claiming.
Doesn't that sound like a woman's porn star name? And then you find out it's some kooky lawyer man, and you go, Lynn Wood. I thought it was like some sexy 80s porn star woman.
Lynn Wood.
Hi, I'm Lynn Wood, and I'm here to be a lawyer and to also jerk you off.
Lynn Wood's very straightforward.
Welcome right this way, attorney. Thank you. I respect your law degree.
Lynn Wood pulls no punches, huh? Just straight to the point. I like that in a woman. Now, Mr. President, Lynn Wood is claiming, your lawyer, that Sir Jeffrey Epstein is alive.
Alexa, play Kool and the Gang Celebration.
Celebration by Kool and the Gang on Amazon Music.
Alexa, turn up the volume, you skank. Wow. And they talked about Jesus Christ being so special. Sir Jeffrey Epstein alive. This has been a tough year with the voter fraud. But you're telling me the great Sir Jeff Epstein is alive. Lynn Wood.
That's what your lawyer is saying.
And then you do the Pence move. Oh, you've got a pretty strong Pence move. I'm impressed.
Very strong.
Oh, Mike Pence right there. He's Got his glow sticks out. Okay, Mike. Okay, work it, Pence, you big homosexual.
That's a video I'd like to see.
What if I told you that I had glow sticks for New Year's Eve and didn't get to use them to do a Pence video?
That's too bad. So
Cool in the gang. You know, they're a gang, but you know what? They're like the one gang that I sort of think is not too dangerous.
do you think there is any truth to this? Because he was.
Hold on. Okay, I'm tired of the blacks. Alexa, stop the blacks. Oh, she did it. How about that? Alexa with 3 Ks.
Now, Mr. President, do you think that there is any possibility that Sir Jeffrey Epstein is still alive? Because I thought that he committed suicide, not murdered by Barr. That's what you always tell us.
Well, you know what? Now that I'm realizing it, I think that Bill Barr, who's proven to be very disloyal in these last few weeks of my great first term, I'm starting to think that maybe when Bill Barr went to the prison and paid off the guards to go away, and when he definitely didn't arrange for the murder of Jeff Epstein, I'm thinking he might have lied about the scenario. I think he might have freed Jeff Epstein. And if Jeffrey, if you're out there listening to strong podcasts, this is your friend and your president. It's okay. Come see me. I have strong pardons, and we can party because I may not have to be in the White House for much longer. So call me, please.
So, if Sir Jeffrey Epstein is still alive, would you still aggressively go after the presidency, or would you relax because your greatest acquaintance is still alive and you can party with him again?
Oh, we can party. And then guess what? How does Trump Epstein 2024 sound to you? It sounds very powerful to me.
Very strong. Very, very strong. Mr. President, it is the first episode of 2021. And
It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up.
That's right. And we always take questions from the fans. Before we do that, I just want to let everyone know that on Inauguration Day, on January 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern, it will be the Patreon Patriot Perfect 10 episode. It will be historical on Inauguration Day, 8 p.m. Eastern, and that is for all the Perfect 10 Patreon Patriots. Also, you can go join the Patreon on patreon.com/MPGA. Lots of people signing up in the last few days. Really appreciate that. And keep telling friends. Sign up for every level that is good for you. We have the $5, the $6.90, and the $10 Perfect 10. And also, if you want to check out this podcast and see the video, check out our YouTube page. Go to mpgapod.com. On the bottom, click the YouTube button, and please subscribe. It costs nothing and it helps us out, and you can see all the videos from every episode that we have up there. Check that out, and that's patreon.com/mpga. We have some questions from the fans, Mr. President. Some strong ones. Twitter actually represented this week. So,
well, I scolded them. I don't know if you saw that. I sort of called them out and said, Instagram, radical left Instagram has been kicking your ass. Powerful Twitter.
They did bring the heat. I like this question to start off. It's from number one pain in the ass fan. Hernandez Steve is his Twitter handle. Mr. President, in your second term, will you sign?
Not interested. You know the rules, Mr. President, sir.
I'll edit. Mr. President, sir, in your second term, will you sign an executive order making Mountain Dew the official drink of America?
It's a good question, and I respect my supporters who enjoy their Mountain Dew. You know, it's full of sort of vitamins and minerals. But no, if I were going to make a beverage the official beverage of America, it would be Diet Coke.
So no Mountain Dew. Wow. A lot of your
Well, it's an important honor to be named the official beverage of America, and Coca-Cola, and more importantly, Diet Coke is the ultimate. The way Trump is the ultimate brand in so many places, Coke is the ultimate brand in soft drink.
Okay. This next question comes from Pacifica Pan. At Pacifica Pan, Mr. President, sir. He actually wrote Mr. President, sir. And I have to
There
edit
you
him.
go. Thank you.
Why haven't you sent Ivanka to say wrap things up with those needing special attention in Georgia?
Because Ivanka is only used, that's more of a melatonin job, sending
Okay.
her down to sort of trashy parts of the country. Ivanka is to be used only for sort of the highest end deals, if you know what I mean.
Understandable. This next question comes from
Like Saudi princes and,
I gotcha.
sort of real estate billionaires.
Strongly powerful people.
Oh,
Strongly powerful people.
no, I don't think you understand what the terms mean.
This comes from at Matt KM. Sir, Mr. President, sir,
There you go. Thank you.
Sir, Mr. President, sir, what is your New Year's resolution? Is the first question. And what do you plan to accomplish in your second term after you find the votes in Georgia?
Well, that's two questions, but they were both very powerful, so we will answer them. New Year's resolution was to finally do something about these very sort of old-fashioned, offensive incest laws that we have in this country. We have to get sort of modern and stop thinking in the past on certain things. And as far as plans for a second term, firing squads for Democrats.
Okay.
And of course, the sexual gimp for Christ, BGMP. He's very disappointed that he may not be able to sodomize Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and other Democrats at inauguration. So we're going to have to find some way to console BGMP because, as you know, anybody who's listened to this podcast for a long time knows that that's been something he's been planning for, about a year.
Well,
and he had his inauguration. He had a leather gimp mask with an American flag sewn onto the back of it.
so he has everything set for it.
Everything set.
Has he practiced?
Well, I think he's mostly been resting after his very powerful truck stop campaign tour.
Mr. President, this is the last question from Twitter, and this comes from at Rob Shuttleworth. Mr. President, sir, if you could now, it's a timely question. If you can bring powerfully back to life either the great Jeff Epstein or the great Sir Jeff Epstein or the great Fred Trump, which would it be and why?
Well, that is a good question, but obviously the choice would be the great Fred Trump, who, if you listen to the Eppies, was voted best dead person. Because Sir Jeffrey Epstein, apparently is breathing Trump's clean air. And so why would I bring him back if he's already alive, according to the great Lynn Wood? So what I would say is we would bring back very powerfully the great Fred Trump, who would be so proud to see how strongly I've done.
All right. So since Sir Jeffrey Epstein is possibly alive, you would bring back your father, so then you would have both alive.
And can you imagine what we would do, all three of us together?
It would be like reinventing the Rat Pack.
It really would be.
You would need an African American part of your Rat Pack. Who would it be?
Herman Cain's dead body.
you would drag it around like Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, that's exactly what we would do.
Mr. President, these questions come from Instagram. And this is from Chuck Huey. I think he's sent in a few questions.
I gotta say, okay, let me just. You can
Yeah.
ask one of his questions, but I think you probably agree with me, tech stuff guy. Enough with the multiple questions, okay? Trying to, this. We're not a Democrat podcast. That you don't get online and get, various government benefits from us. You get one question. It's called fairness. It's called strong conservative principles on social media.
Why you're talking about from the Twitter, the people who had two questions in one?
I
You're
don't
still
like
upset
no
about that?
no. I checked out our social media and you see people going like, oh, I forgot. Here's another one, and thinking it's like a raffle where they throw enough entries in. One question in February. Oh, we don't answer any questions from you. How about that? How about that, people with multiple questions?
Well, we can just filter through them and just pick their good ones if they want to send a few out.
Well, you know what? I've spoken.
Okay.
They get one question.
One question,
So
people.
think it through. Don't. This is a president, okay? This isn't Hussein Obama, who's just going to stand there and give you everything you want. If you're talking to a president, there's a rare, strong up. And believe me, under Sleepy Joe, you think he's going to have a podcast? He's not going to have a pulse. So, be respectful. One question. You only get one shot, as the great white rapper Eminem said.
Have you listened to Eminem's new album? He just came out with a new album, Mr. President.
Well, it's like some remix of the album he released like a year ago, and I don't like when people do that.
Yeah. This is from Chuck Huey. Your Excellency, Mr. President, sir. During your incredibly strong upcoming second tremendous term, do you agree that swimsuit competitions should be a part of the process for all female nominees to ensure their fantastic and very, very strong and tremendous loyalty and very, very patriotic patriotism? I think one of the best questions we've ever had.
You know what? I will not penalize this person for putting in multiple entries as long as they learn their lesson. But that is such a strong
Chuck Huey
question.
gave one. Chuck Huey gave one. I know who
Oh,
you're
he
talking
only gave
about.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, he only gave one. Well, Chuck, that's a great question, and I think that is what we will do. I think that is the way to go forward. Is a strong swimsuit competition. Thong only, and
No top?
no. I mean, as far as no, it's a very classy sort of process. Not dehumanizing. So no, they can wear a top. Anybody wearing a one piece is automatically disqualified and can't serve in government.
Okay.
So I would say thongs, high heels. Okay, we're not doing flip flops. High heels, thong, and strong bikini top. And I think that's a great. And you know what? To prove that it's not about sexual the way the Democrats would say it is, it has to be an American flag bikini top for patriotism.
Well, that changes everything.
And
No.
the temperature will be a very comfortable 42 degrees.
It's like negative 17 degrees. There's two more questions, Mr. President, and this comes from the Archduke of Sachafunkilis.
I don't like that this person is coming in with pretend titles. I don't think he's an archduke.
I don't think he's an archduke either.
I mean, unless you told me he played for Duke Lacrosse, at which point I would say, I'll listen to that.
You're an archduke if you play for Duke Lacrosse?
No, I'm just saying I respect Duke Lacrosse, but not archdukes.
It says,
put up your dukes.
It says, Dear Mr. President, sir.
Remember Frank Dukes from Bloodsport?
I do. What a great movie. I don't think it holds up anymore, though.
Well, not as good as the woman bursting out of the cake and Under Siege.
No, definitely not. Dear Mr. President, sir, do you feel betrayed by Vladimir Putin?
Why would I feel betrayed? No, I don't feel. I
Because
feel
he said that Joe Biden is the new president of the United States. You know that, right?
well, Vlad told me he had his fingers crossed when he wished Sleepy Joe Biden congratulations. So
So
it,
in
it didn't.
politics, if you have your fingers crossed, it counts. Like when you were in grade school.
It absolutely counts.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, now you know, and if you don't know, now you know. N word.
um, this last question comes from B Miller 407. Dear Doctor, Mr. Doctor, President, Sir Esquire, with the ongoing Pardon Palooza and the Medal of Freedom extravaganza, what award will you bestow upon your trusted number two, in parentheses, meaning Mike Pence,
Great
before
question.
your first term is over?
And next week we should talk about the fact that Jim Jordan and Devin Nunes are getting strong presidential medals of freedom for doing what I asked them to do.
That's good.
I will give Mike Pence absolutely nothing if he certifies the election for Sleepy Joe. But if he fights, I will give him a condo in a Trump building. I will give him a presidential medal of freedom, and I will give him a young Greek boy to mentor.
Just a mentoring process.
Well,
An internship.
mentoring in sort of the ancient Greek way.
Mr. President, thank
Okay,
you.
well, Mike. Okay, no, excuse me. Mike has clarified. He says he was using.
Filipino.
No. When he said boy, he didn't mean like a Greek child. He meant like in the way gay people will sometimes refer to somebody as a boy, and they're like a oiled up, fit 25-year-old.
Like a twink.
I think that's what he. Yeah, he says no. He likes. He's okay. He says he wants a twink and will dress as a hostess. I guess because they make Twinkies. I think that's what he's saying. So great evangelical vice
Yes.
president, big gay Mike Pence. So he's going to get many rewards from his president unless he certifies it for Sleepy Joe, at which point I will instruct MAGA Nation that there is a bounty on his head.
Will you say do the do, Mike Pence?
Let me tell you something. I have 3 different forms of Mountain Dew in my refrigerator too. I'm doing a video tonight. It'll be available once people see this. I'm putting Stop the Steal care packages together, and it features all the necessities that our great supporters will need when they come to DC on January 6th. 3 types of, I didn't even know they had that many Mountain Dew. It's a blue Mountain Dew, it's the classic green, and a Mountain Dew energy drink. I don't know if there's any more white trash beverage than a Mountain Dew energy drink.
I thought there's a red. Isn't there a red flavor?
There was a code red, but I thought that would be too much.
Okay. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us again this week, and Happy New Year, and good luck in 2021. I want to thank betonline.ag. So for the national championship coming up and football playoffs, check out betonline.ag and use the welcome bonus CLNS50. 50% welcome bonus from them. Also, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/MPGA. Sign up whatever level is good for you. We have the Perfect 10 Patreon Patriot episode on January 20th, Inauguration Day at 8 p.m. Eastern. And please check out the YouTube channel, mpgapod.com. Click the YouTube link and then just click subscribe. Check out all the live videos up there from every podcast. Some great videos up there, edited in a really fancy way. So really appreciate that, and all the ratings and reviews, keep them coming in. Thank you so much, all our listeners. We really appreciate you guys, and a happy new year to everyone. Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. That was a very long announcement from our now fired tech stuff guy. Hey, everybody, it's JL. Happy New Year. The only thing I'll say, it's two things, I guess I'll say real quick, not show related. Jay handled all that. Please check out, if you haven't already, check out my other podcast, Righteous PK, which is available on Spotify and Apple. Good new episode this week, but that's every week. And in addition to that, if you're so inclined, if you're, obviously I think most of you are fans of mine. If you would go to my website, this is just me doing personal plugs right now, but if you go to my website, jlcomedy.com, scroll to the bottom of the homepage, just sign up for my monthly newsletter, because I sent out the first one today where I'm doing some solo Zoom stand-up shows, and first one's closing is going to sell out soon, and I made it exclusive to newsletter subscribers. So that's just where all my announcements will be for the year in terms of any tour dates, any albums I put out, and any big news related to this show as well. It's just a way to, obviously, if you listen to this show, you'll get all the show news you need, but it's just my way of trying to avoid any traps with the social media algorithms, that if I put something out that's big, you at least get an email telling you about it, instead of just going 3 weeks later, I didn't know you were doing that. Because you saw every tweet for 4 days in a row and then missed every tweet for like 3 weeks for no reason other than the arbitrariness of social media. So just if you're so inclined, please sign up. It's just going to be a monthly newsletter, no more than that. And maybe check out Righteous PK podcast if you want more of me, and me not quite sounding like a moronic tyrant. Although I think this was a very strong episode this week.
Very powerful.
Very powerful. So thank you guys for listening. If you've got no money, like we've said, subscribing to the YouTube channel and giving us 5 stars on iTunes, both free, both very helpful to us. So whatever you can do, we're happy to keep providing the show, and we're happy for any and all support you give us. So thank you. Happy New Year, and God help us all.